Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Talk English freely.
Brian, can you believe Valentine's Day is coming up soon?
Oh wow, is it already? I completely lost track of time.
Yeah, it's next week. February 14th is right around the corner. Time really flies.
Do you have any special plans?
Not yet, actually. I'm still trying to figure out what to do. What about you?
I'm keeping it pretty low-key this year. Perhaps just a quiet evening at home.
That sounds nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Valentine's Day, that's actually our topic for today's conversation.
Perfect timing. And hello to everyone watching. Welcome to Talk English Freely.
I'm Jessica, and this is Brian. We're here to help you practice your English listening through natural, everyday conversations about real-life topics.
No textbooks, no memorization, just honest conversation. Just honest conversation.
Right. And today we're talking all about Valentine's Day, from how people celebrate it to what it means to different people.
Whether you love it, hate it, or feel somewhere in between, we're covering it all.
Exactly. So get comfortable and listen to us chat about this holiday that everyone seems to have an opinion about.
Before we start, if you're enjoying these videos, please hit that like button.
Yes. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our future conversations.
All right, let's talk about Valentine's Day. Jessica, here's my first question.
Go ahead.
How do you usually celebrate Valentine's Day?
Well, it really depends on whether I'm single or in a relationship at the time, to be honest. When I'm in a relationship, I usually like to do something nice with my partner, like going out for dinner or cooking a special meal at home together. Nothing too extravagant or over the top, just something that feels romantic and special. When I'm single, I tend to treat it more like a regular day. Or sometimes I'll celebrate with other single friends by having a girls' night or doing something fun together. I try not to get too caught up in the commercial aspect of the holiday because I think that can make it feel stressful rather than enjoyable.
That's a really balanced approach. I like that you adapt it based on your situation, rather than feeling pressured to celebrate it in a specific way.
Yeah, I think that's the healthiest way to approach it. Not everyone needs to go all out with expensive gifts and fancy dinners.
I agree.
What about you, Brian? How do you usually celebrate?
Honestly, I am pretty low-key about Valentine's Day. Even when I have been in relationships, I tend to prefer doing something simple and meaningful rather than something elaborate or expensive. Perhaps cooking dinner together at home, watching a movie, or just spending quality time together without all the pressure of going to a crowded restaurant or buying expensive gifts. I feel like the holiday has become so commercialized that people sometimes lose sight of what it's supposed to be about, which is just showing someone you care about them.
That's a really thoughtful perspective. The commercial aspect can definitely take away from the genuine sentiment.
Right. You shouldn't need a specific day to show someone you love them.
True. Okay, here's another question. What do you think about giving gifts on Valentine's Day? Do you like the tradition, or do you think it's unnecessary?
I have mixed feelings about it. Honestly, on one hand, I think giving a thoughtful gift can be a nice gesture and a way to show someone you care about them and put effort into making them feel special. On the other hand, I don't like the pressure and expectation that comes with it, where people feel obligated to buy expensive jewelry or flowers or chocolates just because it's Valentine's Day. I think a gift is most meaningful when it's given spontaneously and comes from genuine thoughtfulness, not because society says you're supposed to give something on a specific date.
I totally understand that perspective. The obligation aspect can definitely make it feel less genuine.
Right. If someone gives you a gift just because they feel like they have to, that takes away from the meaning.
Absolutely.
What's your take on Valentine's Day gifts, Jessica?
I like giving and receiving gifts, but I agree with you, this should be thoughtful rather than expensive. I'd rather receive something small and meaningful that shows the person actually knows me and put thought into it than something generic and costly that feels impersonal. For example, if someone knows I love a particular author and they give me a book by that author, that means way more to me than expensive jewelry or a dozen roses. The thought behind the gift is what matters, not the price tag.
That's a great way to look at it. Personalized gifts definitely show more care and attention than generic ones.
Definitely, it's about quality over quantity.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, here's a fun one. If you were planning the perfect Valentine's Day date, what would it look like?
Let me think about this. For me, the perfect Valentine's Day date would probably be something relaxed and intimate rather than crowded in public. Perhaps starting with a nice home-cooked meal where we both contribute to making the food together, which can be really fun and collaborative. Then perhaps watching a favorite movie or playing board games or just talking and enjoying each other's company without distractions. I think the key is creating an environment where you can really connect with the other person, rather than being surrounded by crowds at a restaurant or dealing with the stress of reservations and expensive bills.
That sounds really lovely and personal. I like the emphasis on connection rather than spectacle.
Right. It's about the quality of time spent together, not how much money you spend.
I completely agree with that.
What would your perfect Valentine's Day look like, Jessica?
I think I'd want something that combines romance with a bit of adventure or something memorable. Perhaps starting the day with a scenic hike or walk in a beautiful location where we could enjoy nature and have good conversation. Then coming back and cooking a nice meal together at home like you mentioned, because I also think that's really fun and intimate. And then ending the evening with something cozy, like watching a favorite movie with candles and wine or hot chocolate. The key for me would be spending uninterrupted time together doing things we both enjoy, without the pressure of trying to impress each other or meet some ideal standard.
That sounds wonderful. I like that it's active and varied rather than just one thing.
Yeah, I like having different elements throughout the day. It makes it feel more special and memorable.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's a different kind of question. How do you feel about Valentine's Day when you're single? Do you find it depressing, or do you not really care?
I don't find it depressing, but I'll admit it can feel a bit strange sometimes. When you're single and everyone around you is talking about their plans or posting about their relationships on social media, it can make you feel a bit left out or make you more aware of being alone. But I try not to let it get to me because I know that being single isn't a bad thing, and my worth isn't determined by whether I have a romantic partner on a specific day in February. I usually just treat it like any other day and try to do something I enjoy, whether that's hanging out with friends, pursuing a hobby, or just relaxing at home.
That's a really healthy mindset. It's easy to feel pressure or sadness when you're single on Valentine's Day, but you're right that it shouldn't define your worth.
Right. And honestly, there are plenty of people in relationships who aren't happy either. So being single isn't necessarily worse.
That's very true.
What about you, Jessica? How do you handle Valentine's Day when you're single?
I've had years where it bothered me more than others, to be honest. When I was younger, I used to feel more pressure about being single on Valentine's Day because it felt like everyone else was in a relationship and I was missing out on something. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's really not that big of a deal and that being single has its own advantages and freedoms. Now, when I'm single on Valentine's Day, I try to celebrate self-love and friendship instead of focusing on romantic love. Sometimes I'll treat myself to something nice or spend time with other single friends who are also looking for something fun to do that day.
That's a really positive way to reframe it. Celebrating self-love and friendship is just as valid as celebrating romantic love.
Absolutely. Love comes in many forms, not just romantic.
Well said.
Okay, here's another one. Do you have any memorable Valentine's Day experiences, either good or bad?
I do have one that stands out. Several years ago, I was in a relationship and I planned this elaborate surprise for my partner. I cooked a multi-course meal, set up candles and music, the whole thing. But what I didn't realize was that my partner had a really stressful day at work and came home exhausted and just wanted to relax and not deal with anything fancy. So all my effort kind of backfired, because it created more pressure rather than being romantic and special. It taught me an important lesson about communication and making sure you're on the same page with someone rather than assuming what they want.
Oh no, that must have been disappointing after all that effort. But yeah, that's a good lesson about checking in with someone first.
Right. Sometimes the best intentions don't work out if you're not communicating. That's so true. Do you have any memorable Valentine's Day stories, Jessica?
I have a funny one from when I was in college. My boyfriend at the time was really nervous about getting me the perfect gift. So he ended up buying me 3 different things because he couldn't decide which one I'd like best. He got me flowers, chocolates, and a stuffed animal, which was really sweet, but also kind of overwhelming because it was clear he was trying way too hard to impress me. I appreciated the effort, but I also felt bad that he'd spent so much money and put so much pressure on himself. We had a good laugh about it later, and I told him that he didn't need to go overboard in the future because I'd be happy with something simple and thoughtful.
That's kind of endearing, though. It shows he really cared and wanted to make you happy.
It was sweet for sure, just a bit over the top.
Huh, yeah.
All right, here's another question. What's the worst Valentine's Day gift you could receive?
Oh, that's an interesting question. For me, the worst gift would probably be something that shows the person didn't put any thought into it at all, like generic drugstore chocolates or a card with no personal message written inside, or perhaps something practical like kitchen appliances or cleaning supplies, which might be useful but definitely aren't romantic. I think the key is that a gift should show some level of thoughtfulness and effort, even if it's inexpensive.
I agree completely. Generic gifts that could be for anyone are the worst.
Right. It shows a lack of effort. What would be the worst Valentine's Day gift for you, Jessica?
For me, I think the worst would be something that's clearly just a last-minute panic purchase with no thought behind it. Like grabbing whatever's left at the store on February 14th because you forgot about the holiday. Or giving me something that's obviously meant for someone else or doesn't match my interests at all, like sports equipment when I don't play any sports. It's not about the money or how fancy the gift is. It's about whether the person actually knows me and cares enough to choose something meaningful.
That makes sense. A thoughtful gesture always means more than an expensive but impersonal one.
Exactly. Okay, last question. Do you think Valentine's Day is important or do you think it's overrated?
I think it depends on your perspective and how you choose to approach it. For some people, having a designated day to celebrate love and romance is meaningful and gives them an excuse to do something special that they might not do otherwise. For others, it feels forced and commercialized, and they'd rather show love and appreciation throughout the year rather than on one specific day. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just about what works for you and your relationship. Personally, I fall somewhere in the middle where I can appreciate the sentiment, but don't think it needs to be a huge deal.
That's a really balanced take. I think you're right that it's very individual.
Right. What matters is what feels authentic and meaningful to you. What do you think, Jessica? Important or overrated?
I think it's a bit of both, honestly. I appreciate having a day that's dedicated to celebrating love in all its forms, whether romantic, platonic, or self-love. It can be a nice reminder to show appreciation for the people in your life and to do something special that you might not prioritize on a regular day. But I also think it's become overly commercialized, and there's too much pressure to spend money and have the perfect celebration. So I guess my answer is that the concept is important, but the execution has become a bit overrated and problematic.
That's a really thoughtful answer. The concept versus the execution is an important distinction.
Right. If we could strip away all the commercial pressure and just focus on genuine connection and appreciation, it would be a much better holiday.
I agree with that.
Well, Brian, I think we've talked about Valentine's Day from every angle today.
We really have. This has been a great conversation.
I agree. I hope everyone enjoyed our discussion.
Me too.
Thanks so much for watching today, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed our Valentine's Day conversation.
Whether you're celebrating with a partner, with friends, or just treating yourself, we hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
And we'd love to hear from you. How do you usually celebrate Valentine's Day? What's the best or worst Valentine's Day experience you've had?
Share your stories in the comments below. We love reading them.
And if this conversation helped you practice your English, please give us a like.
It really helps us keep making these videos for you.
Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
We've got more great conversations coming up.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Take care.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.